Gambia's deputy envoy to the United Nations booted out. The Gambia has kicked out of office its deputy ambassador to the United Nations Samsudeen Sarr, according to officials at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Sarr defended the position of ousted President Yahya Jammeh, who refused to cede power, throwing the country into a political crisis. ECOWAS troops forced Jammeh to flee to Equatorial Guinea, and their presence has been described by Mr. Sarr as an invasion. President Yahya Jammeh had threatened that the crisis was going to escalate if regional troops entered the country, a decision that Sarr backed. He accused Senegal of trying to violently overthrow Jammeh and opposed the neighboring nation's move to sponsor a UN Security Council resolution that seeks to have President Adama Barrow recognized and Jammeh ousted by all means necessary. He rejected calls by the Security Council for Jammeh to stand down and hand over power to Barrow. A former military commander, Sarr went into exile and wrote a book opposition Jammeh's military takeover of the country. He reunited with Mr. Jammeh in the fall of 2014 and became his vocal supporter, earning him the ambassadorial job in the so-called National Award. The former UN envoy caused an international outcry for advocating for the killing of opposition protesters in April and May of last year. At least 2 protesters were killed and dozens of people, including former opposition leader and now Foreign Affairs Minister Ousseynou Darboe, were arrested. Sarr blamed Western countries and diaspora dissidents of funding the protests, which he and President Jammeh say were a violent attempt to overthrow the APRC government. He has also accused former U.S. National Security Advisor Susan Rice and the Obama administration of using the disappearance of 2 Gambian Americans, Alhaji Cisse and Ebai Jobe, and LGBT rights as forced Jammeh out of power. Sarr has accused U.S.-based Gambian activists of using Cisse and Jobe as nothing but another dubious story fed to U.S. authorities by the enemies of President Jammeh. At least 11 ambassadors who urged Jammeh to step down have been reinstated to their positions after Jammeh fired them, including the Gambia's UN envoy Dr. Mamadou Tangara. Tangara was forced to hand over to Sarr last month, who became the acting ambassador to the UN until his firing on Friday.